Hey, it's Kim, and I'm back for another week of 10-minute tips. 10 minutes. Okay, so this week I want to talk about choosing your battles. Yeah, choosing your battles. That's because we know in relationships, we have times when we get into battles. We have arguments. We have heated discussions. We confront each other. Yes, we do these things in relationships, and so we should expect that. But we should also make sure that we're fighting fair. But then the other side of that is that we should sometimes just choose our battles. Choose the things that are important to discuss opposed to not important. When you're choosing your battles, you do a few things. You save time. Yeah, you save your valuable time and energy when it comes to having a discussion about something that's really pointless. Instead of confronting everything, you save yourself, you save your energy for the things that are most important. That's what you do. Okay, so now let's take a look at this thing. One of the things that's important about choosing your battles is preserving relationships. Right, preserving relationships. And this works for all types of relationships. We'll get to that in a minute. One of the first things that I want you to think about when we're talking about choosing our battles is I want you to think about evaluating the situation. Evaluate the situation. Really take a hard look at this particular confrontation or argument or thing that has been proposed to you. Think about it. Now, when we say evaluate, the meaning of that is just take an assessment. And what you're going to do is you're going to assess the worth and the value of this situation. Is it worth it? Is there any value in this discussion? Or is it just something just to keep problems going? Okay, so I want you to really think about that. I want you to ask yourself, is this important? Is this something I should be giving my time and my energy to? Could I be spending my time and energy in a different way? Even if it's with that person, could I be doing something different? Could we be talking about something completely different other than this particular situation that we're trying to, discuss that really is meaningless? Meaningless. We get into those situations where we just want to flex our muscle and we just want people to know our opinion. We want that person to know where we stand with something. And that's cool. We should, take up for ourselves and all of that. But then there are times where it really doesn't matter. It's just a complete waste of your time. The other thing I want you to think about is when we're talking about choosing your battles is, what is this going to cost you? What is this battle going to cost you? Yeah, what is it going to cost you in time and energy? But most importantly, what is this battle going to cost you in the relationship? Yeah, that's the most important part, is the relationship. Is there a way that you can preserve the relationship? Is choosing your battle about this one certain thing, is that a way that you can preserve that relationship? Now, your ego may be bruised a bit, but the relationship will be preserved. And sometimes, that's the most important thing. Now, I'm not talking about avoiding conversations that need to be had. That's not what I'm talking about at all. But I'm talking about really taking an assessment of, is this something that's necessary to talk about? Sometimes things will naturally work themselves out. Yeah, they will. And sometimes we just need to let that happen. So I want you to ask, what will it cost you? Will I lose more than I gain? In this heated discussion, in this confrontation, will I lose more than I gain? That's a good question to ask. And then the other thing I want you to assess is, will there be a positive outcome? Some of our heated discussions and our confrontations, there is never any positive outcome. We never get any understanding. We never get any insight. We never come to any conclusions, or we never solve the problem. But my voice was heard. Where I'm coming from. Yeah, all of that is really not important when we're talking about relationships. Relationships. Okay? So the next thing I want you to think about is this. When we approach these types of situations and we're trying to make a decision, if we're going to engage into this battle, or should we just, count our losses, I want you to think about this. If you go into it, I want you to go into it with the mindset that it's going to be a win-win. Yeah, not a win-lose, but a win-win, meaning you win, I win. Yeah, not the only way you can win is if I lose, and the only way that I can win is if you lose. No, what can we both benefit from this discussion, from this confrontation? Will we both win? And we have to stop seeing each other as the adversary. We have to stop seeing each other as the enemy. But we have to see the problem, the issue, as the enemy. That's the thing that we want to solve. We're not trying to be at odds with each other. I know we want to be heard, but we have to make sure that we're not trying to just win the battle. Not trying to just win the battle. The adversary is the issue, not the mate, not the friend, not your sister, not your brother, not that close loved one. They are not your adversary. They're not the enemy. And this works for all relationships. That's why I mentioned that. That's why I mentioned the adversary is not your brother, your sister, your coworker, that person that you're in a relationship with. It's not your neighbor. It's not the person at your workplace. It really is the problem. It really is the problem, and we really should be thinking about it from that vantage point. Okay, when we are talking about choosing our battles, and then we choose to engage into a discussion, or we choose to go ahead and confront something, I want you to think about it a little differently. I don't want you to think about it as a confrontation. I want you to think about it like a open discussion. An open discussion. I want you to make it your goal, make it your mission to get an understanding. Yes. Make it your mission to get an understanding. Don't be afraid to share your thoughts and your views, and be respectful of the other person's thoughts and views too. Right. This is how we have open discussions. It's not just about me being heard. It's not just about me saying my part, or, me not listening when you're talking and just trying to prepare something to say because I just need you to know how I feel. But it really is about getting an understanding about whatever this discussion or whatever this issue or problem is about. That really is the goal. So try to have that open discussion, but make it your mission, make it your goal to get an understanding of what that other person is talking about. Try to find that win-win, right? We're looking for that win-win because we know our goal is the win-win, not the win-lose, but the win-win. So when we're going into our open discussion, we want to do something. We want to go in as calm as possible. Yeah. Go in calm. If you're all fired up, maybe you should just wait a while, right? So go in calm. Go in calm. And you know what? If the other person is hurling hurtful words and they're name calling and all this kind of stuff, say, hey, you know what? That's not what I'm here for. I'm here because I want to get an understanding. And then if that's not working, then maybe you need to take a break, right? Maybe you say, you know what? Let's just take a walk. You take a walk, I'll take a walk, and then we'll come back to this. And then you know what? Sometimes you have to know where your exit point is. You have to know when it's time to cut your losses. You have to know when, you know what, this is not going to get solved. We are not going to come to an understanding about this. And you know what? Sometimes it's just like that. Sometimes you're just not going to get an understanding. Sometimes you're not going to come to an agreement. And sometimes you just have to cut your losses. But let me say this, and let me end here. If it comes to a point where we have to do that, where we have to cut our losses, where we just have to say, you know what, we have to agree to disagree, then I want you to do one last thing. I want you to let it go. Sometimes we have to let go of unresolved problems just so we can have peace. Peace within ourselves and peace in the relationship. And these are my 10-minute tips. I hope they're blessing you, and I hope that you will continue to watch. God bless you.